Joe, first serious game of the season, would you put it that way, or how's the pre-season gone for you too?
Yeah, it's obviously the first one that has a consequence on the points table, and for us, we want that consequence to be a positive one. It hasn't been in the last 2 years. We've tended to lose our first game, and so we'd like to turn that around. We had an extra pre-season game this year to give a lot of the younger players a little bit more experience and against some real quality players. So sometimes that worked reasonably well, and obviously there was one game that it didn't work so well. So there's been a mixture of confidence from that, a little bit of continuity and a sort of a little bit of fluidity, and at the same time there's been some reality where if you don't get things right you pay a fairly harsh price. And I think with the players that Northampton have, that was a tough lesson, but it's a lesson you have to learn before you go to the Scarlets, because I saw some of their lads who were out in the weekend, the likes of George North, who is a super player, Scott Williams, very, very good player, and even if they don't have guys like Jonathan Davies back, they've got Gareth Maul, who's played a lot of games for the Scarlets, a really good player, and great back row as well, with Turnbull, McCusker, Murphy, and a couple of other guys who really do make you pay if you're not very, very accurate. So it's been a lot of things that we've been working on over these past 3 games that have been in preparation for what we'll meet this Saturday night.
Do you think that you got out of pre-season training and the matches what you were hoping for?
Yeah, to a large degree. I think you always want more. You wouldn't be competitive if you didn't. So, there's still things that we feel that we're a little bit underdone, and inevitably with the younger guys playing, there's a bit of an experience, and so we're a little bit vulnerable. But we've got to try to get through these first 3 or 4 games, and for some of the players, it's a fantastic opportunity.
With the Easterby connection, is there anything light being made of it?
Well, look, I've been trying to push Guy to get some intel, but really he just says that his brother is a lot leaner than he is, and that's about all that's come out of it. So I think Simon has been running around a fair bit, getting his lads organised, and I think he was doing a great job with their defensive structure, and for him to have the opportunity to take on the head coach job, I think is an exciting role for him.
And just one finally for me, about your signings, the likes of Tom Denton, how are they getting on?
Yeah, Tom's a super bloke. He's fitted in really well, and he's appeared in all 3 of the pre-season games and done really well for us. He for a big man gets off the line well. He's quite physical, and he's quite adept carrying the ball and sort of transferring the ball. So he's at the moment fitting in really well. Obviously, there are some levels that will go up once the genuine competition starts. Quinn Rue's in, and he's working really well. I think he may have an involvement off the bench this week, but he's yet to play for us. So if he doesn't have involvement off the bench this week, he'll get a run out against the Dragons the following week, so that we can get him into sync with us as well. He came straight off a Super Rugby season, so we tried to give him a little bit of downtime. So he's probably a little bit behind where Tom is, just fitting into the system. And obviously we've got a couple of guys yet to arrive who are playing in the ITM Cup in New Zealand.
When will the international players be brought back in? Will they be playing this weekend, or will it be another few weeks?
No, it's another couple of weeks away. There are a couple of guys who maybe didn't play a lot in New Zealand who might be available to us next week, and following that it'll be either week 3 or week 4 that those players will be integrated back into the group. One of the difficulties we have is that with the 12 internationals, to put them all back in 1 week, it does mean that you sacrifice a little bit of continuity, and I guess it's just trying to keep that balance.
Obviously you're just concentrating Leinster at the moment, but there have been reports linking you with the Lions coaching staff. Has there been any approach there by the Lions management?
None whatsoever. I'd have to say I know Gats a bit, played with and against them in New Zealand when we were a lot younger men, and so I think he's obviously going to be in charge there, and I'd say that he can't wait to get back down there. They went very, very close to beating them with Wales, and so I'd say, you know, he might take a fair few of the Wales staff with him to go down and have another crack at them.
So there's been no contact there?
No.
No.